Greetings, everybody. This is I, the French fry left in your car last week, also known as Mr. Taco. We made a big league. We made a big league. We did it. We were finally in the big leagues. We made it to Colosseum. LCD just dropped the TEC application, so we have applied for TEC. Very happy, very excited for that. We're here with Colo, though, which is arguably a bigger league than TEC is, meaning that I'm in a bigger league. Haha. We're in Arbelas. We are in the lowest division. But time for a draft analysis. So I was 10th, if I remember correctly. This draft took forever. It started on Sunday. It didn't end until the next Saturday. It was almost a full week of a draft. Today is the day after the draft. So here we are with a team that had a lot of transactions I made on it to try to fix it up, because I did do a lot of things wrong with it. But we'll go through that as we get to everything. So starting off, the Las Vegas Raticates selected, of course, Scizor Mega, which, as you guys see, I have named it Resolution because that will be its name. Scizor Mega is just very, very good. Now, this is Natdex, not Natdex Legacy, so like, I don't think cut moves are allowed, so I can't use like Pursue, I can't use HP or anything like that. Oh, sorry. But it still, it gets, and I hit my microphone. Why do I always hit my microphone? Because I'm like 2 feet away from my microphone. And I mean it when I say that I am like 2 feet away from my microphone all the time. Anyway, we went ahead and grabbed Scizor Mega because it's very, very good. I really like this thing. We're using Scizor in BDL right now. Been amazing, been fantastic for us. Scizor Mega is just that but better. It's a better sweeper, it's a better cleaner in late games. It counts in like a choice band, but with SD, it's kind of like a choice band on crack. So like, it's very, very good for those reasons. It's able to use dual wing beat to be able to break through a lot of things. Superpower, I believe, Psycho Cut, Knockoff, Bullet Punch, like, this is amazing. So many good things that this Pokemon gets. It just gets a lot of really strong attacks and everything. It's great because it only has one weakness, and that's a weakness to fire. You tell Scizor, hold this candle real quick. When you come back, the thing's dead. So pretty much, Scizor opens up the point that we have to fix up our little fire weakness with Scizor, which is pretty easy. You just need a good bulky water. So we did end up grabbing a good bulky water. Scizor's stats are very good. 140 base attack, 150 base attack, 140 defense, and 75 speed isn't terrible, especially as like a trick room option. And you'll see later on in the draft, we actually got some trick room options, which I've never actually done before. I had a slow team in BDL, but nothing that was ever gonna really use trick room. But I can actually decently use trick room on this team if I really wanted to, and I have faster threats if I ended up needing the faster threats. Wait, I think something's wrong here. I think one of my transactions isn't on here. Let me check my transactions real quick. I think one of them is, I have not listed one of them on here. Yeah, I haven't. Let me go ahead and fix. I'll fix it when we get to it. Hopefully I'm not being too loud, because my OBS is telling me to shut up. It's like going in red every 2 seconds. Hopefully I'm not being too loud here. So next up, I wanted to patch up this little fire weakness. I want a nice bulky water, and I want something that can help Scizor with its kind of burn weakness. Scizor does not want to get burned. 140 base attack is huge, but being crippled by a burn pretty much means Scizor has to SD once just to get back to its normal power, and just to get back to its normal power level. And if it wants to be a sweeper, now it's got to do 2 SDs. So what does well with that? Finny. We got Anasike. I think that's how you pronounce it, like Alnasike or something like that. I don't know. It's like a Hindu for hermit or something like that. I know it's for hermit, but I think it's like Hindi or Hindu. I don't know. It's Alnasike anyway. Alnasike. I don't know. I have to check Google Translate for that again. Also, make sure we're not running like very loud on time here, or very long. We're not running out of time. Habitat is great. Misty Surge, I feel like, is the worst terrain because all it does is prevent status conditions, which kind of can be a detriment to your own team, and it also weakens dragon moves. So if you have a Pokemon like Garchomp, which will like to click Scale Shot or like to click Outrage, it's just weakened, and it's kind of, it can give you some really bad synergy between other Pokemon. So like you can't draft, like I originally had Conkeldurr on this team. Yes, Conkeldurr on a Finny team. We dropped it for something better. Don't worry. And I can also run Telepathy if I don't want Misty Surge that week. If I really just do not want Misty Terrain, I can run Telepathy, and you know I'm crazy enough to do so. Well, also, and then I was like, we can do some major tech. Defog away your own terrain. Not Trick. But Trick actually can be pretty useful. Defog away your own terrain. Toxic. Substitute. Calm Mind. Yes, I'm begging to be taunted right here. Defenses are insane. Its only real weaknesses is that it does not get Flip Turn, and it does not get any form of reliable recovery. It has Rest, but then it has Misty Terrain. And then it has Aqua Ring, but it's Aqua Ring. But overall, I really think that this was a great pick. Pretty good value. It was like in like 15 points or something. Not bad for Finny, especially when I was going to go like a Mega B Lele core. But I'm pretty happy with how that came out. So next up, we have Tybisse. Tybis, I forgot how to pronounce it. It's like a different language for like a ghoul, I think. I don't know. Pretty much to find names, I thought of something that would sound cool, something that was funny, or I thought of just translating something that was big to them and translating that to another language. So Genjar here, absolutely incredible. 110 base speed, 130 special attack, frail, as like just very, very frail, but it's so strong. Now, don't think I'm copying Casper's GDEX team here, okay? I promise I wasn't trying to do that. We have Mega Scizor instead of regular Scizor, and we have Finny and then Genjar. Trust me, I noticed and tried not to copy the team. But hey, it was a very well built team, so like a lot of those elements go into good teams. First of all, great coverage. Focus Blast if it ever hits. Energy Ball, D-Gleam, Dark Pulse. You got stuff like, you got Ice Punch if you really want to run physical. You got Plot in case someone's gonna have to switch out on you. You got Destiny Bond if you really want to go that route. We got Explosion. We gotta do that 1 week. I feel like we really have to. Parasong's also really good because I don't remember if it gets any trapping moves though. But it can Perish Song, and then I can go into like Finny, which I think it's Whirlpool, and if it does, then we should be good. No, not Mana Buzz. We don't even have Mana Buzz anymore. But it's a great Ghost type because it's able to, take those fighting moves and take those normal moves and then fire back with very powerful attacks. On like a normal and fire and normal and steel, which you get stabbed. You got Focus Miss, which never gonna hit, but in the parallel universe where it did hit, you won that game. Okay, but guarantee we lose off a Focus Blast Miss. I'm guaranteeing that. Now, next up would have been the word Mana Buzz, but we actually went ahead and picked up Umbreon in free agency. Umbreon is shiny. I just also want to say how much I love Umbreon's shiny. It's so good. It's one of my favorite shinies. Synchronize is great because it already can't be toxic because of Misty Terrain, but when you do toxic it, you're getting toxic right back. Very, very amazing Pokemon. Now, its major thing is that it can't really toxic stall as well as it would like to on this team, but that's not that bad. It gives me Witch Pass, it gives me Heal Bell, and it just gives me a lot of really good utility. It gives me Foul Play, it gives me a great Dark type, meaning that my Ghost resist for Gengar is now an Umbreon, which is not bad. I do really like Umbreon. And also, some of these Pokemon are not nicknamed, usually because they're my free agency pickups, and I don't yet have nicknames for them. And also, it gets knockoff, I believe, right? Or does it not get knockoff? I guess it doesn't. Wow, I actually thought it did get knockoff. But it can also be Cold Lash Out. We do have some tech on this game. I do really like Umbreon though. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. I've always loved it since I was younger. And I'm excited to, be able to use it in draft. If we look at it stat-wise, very similar stats to Slowbro, actually. Or I think Slowking. I don't remember which one of them had the 130 in special defense, but really similar stat spread, in fact. Actually, almost identical, I think. I think it's just, like, faster, and I think it doesn't hit as hard. Right? I'm gonna stop hitting my microphone. I always bring my hand up, and I just smack my microphone. Anyway, that's Umbreon. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's very good. It can do a lot. It's just a very good Pokemon. A lot of cool little tech options. But in overall, it's really just is always going to be running the exact same thing, which is just, you know, like your standard Wish sets. Wish passing is very good on this team, though. Basically, like Finny, which normally doesn't get recovery, now has Umbreon on the Wish it, so it now gets recovery. Not bad at all. Next up, we got Claydol. Originally instead of Claydol, we had Zydog. I love Zydog, but it just was not gonna fit on the team the way I wanted it to, because it wasn't gonna work. It was gonna die to any priority. It was not gonna do well on a team that I was trying to build, which is why we decided to drop it for Claydol. Claydol gives me a Psychic type. It gives me a Ground type, so it gives me an Electric immunity, which I did kind of draft a bit of an Electric weakness, so I did try to counter that out with my immunities. Levitate there to take any kind of Ground type moves, so something that might be coming into Gengar cannot be taken by Claydol. It gives me a Spinner. It gives me a Rocker. Yes, I drafted more than one Rocker, okay? Okay? Calm down. I drafted more than one Rocker. I know, surprising. I don't like to do that. I did it this time, okay? Spin. It gets Refresh, which is actually going to be pretty good if it ends up getting toxic to try to wear it down. It can refresh that right off. It's also just very good. It's bulky. It's a decent Trick Room Sweeper if it's able to get some Calm Minds off. It can also be very bulky and very difficult for people to take down. It also gives me a great Spinner, so now I have more with the removal of just Defog, okay? My normal removal is just Defog. I rarely get good Spinners, so actually getting a Spinner, pretty surprising for me. But not really much I can comment on Claydol. I do really like it. I do really like what it's able to do. But not much I can comment on it. We'll kind of figure everything out a little more as we head into the game. So next up, we have a Pokemon that is the only Pokemon on this team that I have used before. Mega Scizor does not count. I have used Scizor, but I have not used Mega Scizor. So you guys might remember this from our TUC GDEX team. The Legends of the Kung Fu Panda. I know what you guys are saying. You hated Urshifu when it was on your team in GDEX. Why would you draft it again? Because I didn't know how to play Pokemon in GDEX. I'm better now. Alright, next Pokemon. Okay, so Urshifu, I've talked about this thing a lot already. If you want to know more of my opinions on it, go watch my 30-minute GDEX draft analysis. That should tell you all you need to know about what I thought about Urshifu at a first glance. And on paper, Urshifu is not a bad Pokemon. 130 base attack, 97 base speed is not terrible, and not bad bulk either. It's definitely not a bulky water, because it rarely wants to fill that role and it doesn't get toxic, but it's not like it can't be bulky. On the physical side at least. On the special side, no, it's gonna die. And a Surging Strike looks like an absolutely amazing move when you look at it. Look, that's 325 base power hits, meaning that's 75 base power. And then it's stab and always gets critical hits. So on paper, that sounds amazing. But the thing is, Rocky Helmet. Everyone is just gonna run Helmet against you. So the biggest thing about using Urshifu is you have to be able to identify who is the Rocky Helmet user. Who is your opponent going to bring as a Rocky Helmet user? And if you have to find out in the game, who are they playing like a Rocky Helmet user? It's something that you kind of have to figure out. I feel like I'm good enough to figure that out now. I guess Bulk Up, which can be good for some nice little setup. Aqua Jet's amazing for revenge killing. So we got two fantastic revenge killers. We have Mega Scizor and we have Urshifu, which is absolutely amazing. Then we also got stuff like U-Turn. We got stuff like, if we really don't want to run Surging Strikes 1 week just because like we're facing like the Ferrothorn team and just like it's just too risky, we can run like was it Liquid? Yeah, it gets Liquid. Okay. And it gets Ice Punch, and then it gets Fire Punch, and it gets Elemental Punch, it gets Body Press. If you want a meme when we bring Choice Pack Special, that would be kind of funny. But overall, I do think it's very good, and Kung Fu Panda is making his return after a pretty disappointing season in GDEX, looking to redeem himself. Next up, what is my team missing currently? A way to deal with water types. We cannot deal with water as well at all. My best option for dealing with the water is Urshifu using Thunder Punch. So, why don't we just grab Rotom-O? We got Optimus Prime, our Rotom-O. If you're questioning a nickname, Rotom is a transformer. It transforms into things. Optimus Prime is a Transformer. Okay, that was intentional, and ow, I just flicked the microphone. Intentional. Now my finger hurts. Now I was recording with a hurt finger. So Modem is one of the lower rated Rotom forms, and for a reason. It's not bulky, not very bulky. 50 base HP, not good. And overall, a weird stat spread that reminds me a lot of Virizion, which is kind of like mediocre defenses, but it's mediocre offensive position, but it helps it with its defenses, and that's kind of what I feel like it does a lot. Decent speed tier 86, Levitate giving me my second ground immunity, which is not bad because I love to draft ground weak teams. So drafting a Pokemon that can actually drafting 2 Pokemon that are immune to ground, kind of an improvement for me. Defog is absolutely just amazing. I have a lot of removers, a lot of really good removers. And then we got stuff like Volt Switch to help us be able to switch around. We got stuff like Will-O-Wisp to help us burn things. We got Sucker Punch. We got all kinds of very good stuff. We got like Poltergeist, which can be really useful for, as I said, identifying Rocky Helmet users, which is kind of something that we need for Urshifu. We need to identify that Rocky Helmet user because bringing pads every week is not utilizing Shifu the way that you should. But Rotom can kind of help with Poltergeist to help identify what is a Rocky Helmet user, help to knock it off later on in the game, or just try to kill it before Shifu is able to go in. Pretty much any Pokemon that gets switched into Shifu is usually going to be their Rocky Helmet user. So like when I faced Roex, he had his Slowking was a Rocky Helmet user because it's very good against Urshifu. All Urshifu can do is really U-turn out on it. So like that, so being able to identify that as well as being able to get some damage in other than just Frisk really helps. Leaf Storm, hate it, but it's Leaf Storm. We're gonna have to work with it. So it's not the greatest grass type in the world, but at this point in the draft where we're at, what better options do I have? I'm being honest here, what better option do I have at this point? But it's a very good Pokemon. I do like it. I'm very excited to use it. Next up, we got a Pokemon I love. I use it in ladder a lot. That is Donald Duck, the Porygon 2. Now, normally, I would name these things Donald, but Aaron was wrong, so we're gonna name it Aaron was wrong, because Aaron insulted my team. He was wrong. Okay, we're gonna win this season, because Aaron was wrong. Trace, Download, Analytic, both 3 pretty good abilities, though I like Analytic better, because, Try Attack, Go Burr. This thing is just so good. It stalls like hell, and I don't run Toxic on it, and it stalls. I run Thunder Wave, usually, because I like to cripple faster offensive threats, so I can run some slower, bulkier Pokemon, which can really help. Teleport, amazing to help me with some momentum. It gets Trick Room, which is fantastic for my Trick Room options we get later on. We get Recover, which is amazing for recovery. We got Ice Beam, we got Tri Attack, we got all kinds of crazy stuff. And if it's in Misty Terrain, it can't be Toxic. How are you getting rid of Aaron was wrong? And then the thing is, I have decent knock switches, I would say. Like, Umbreon is probably my best knock switching, and that's not a bad knock switching. I don't hate that that's my knock switching. Type Affinity maybe can also be a knock switching. I don't hate either, as I say. So it can honestly just be a really good Pokemon. It can be offensive too. It can be its own Trick Room Sweeper. It can just be very good in general. A lot of things it can do that will just be fun to try out, but it's probably always just it's always kind of being generic. It's always gonna be running very similar stuff of just a usually stall, very annoying, refusing to die Pokemon. So next up, we got Pegasus with M, our Rapidash Galar. Pegasus with M. Replace the P with an M. Tell me what you get. Pastel Veil is not a bad ability. Not being able to be poisoned is not terrible. But it definitely does not have very good abilities. Anticipation is not terrible, but it's not that good either. Is a good way to put it. It's able to hit hard with my Life Orb, and everybody gangsta. I tell you, everybody gangsta until the horse busts out Swords Dance on you, and then kills you, and then has Healing Wish, and then has like Heal Bell or something. No, it does not have Heal Bell. Like, this thing is very good. I love this thing so much. I'm very happy to be able to use it because it's amazing. It's Pegasus with M. It's an amazing Pokemon. It's able to use agility to boost its own speed, which which helps this kind of meddling speed tier, 105. It gives me a nice offensive fare in a physical spectrum. Then using a more special Finny that might need some setup from Combine, which won't be fit onto every single set I'm gonna have to bring Finny for. Which is why I think is very good. It also can be decent mixed. 80 space special attack, don't scoff at that. It can be decent mix as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. This thing, I'm very happy to get it. I think it's just a very good Pokemon that's kind of underused from where it is. So we're gonna see how it works. Next up, we have Rhydon, our Rhyperior. This thing's insane. As I said, we have Trick Room options. When I said we have Trick Room options, I meant we have one. Yeah, I meant we have one Trick Room option, and that is Rhyperior. That's all we need. Fantastic Rocker, fantastic Sweeper, a solid rock, really helps with weakness policy, and just really helps in general. Even in singles, where this thing is not nearly as prominent as it is in PGC, it's able to do a lot, and it's very, very good for what it's able to do. It can hit hard with a lot of different moves. It can like Rock Polish up. It can do stuff like Swords Dance. So like Superpower. It does get Stealth Rock. So I just said I drafted 2 rockers. Okay. Don't crab me. I have more than one rocker. Okay, more than one rocker. I seem to have a moral opposition against Stealth Rocks. Like, I don't draft Stealth Rock users, and even when I do, I don't use Stealth Rocks on. Like, you know, Cream's my best Stealth Rock user I've ever had. I brought it offensive every week. So, very good. Best defense is horrendous, but it's very, very bulky on the physical side, allowing it to switch in on maybe fighting attack moves that Porygon 2 doesn't like, and then get its weakness policy in Trick Room and just sleep. It's simple as that. Simple, straightforward Pokemon. Very good. Last pick, Talonflame. We originally had Typhlosion, which we dropped for Talonflame. Very sad. Typhlosion is my favorite Pokemon, so I just want to use it, but Talonflame's not terrible. I do like it. I do like it a bit. It's quite good. Galewing, of course, is nerfed, but I still don't think it's a bad ability. Being able to get a priority like Tailwind could help with the fact that my team has very meddling speed tiers. Being able to get like a one priority, basically like a 1 priority Brave Bird off can always really help it to be able to deal some decent amount of damage, especially with dual Wing Beat, priority Defog sometimes, and with Wish support, it's more likely that it's gonna be able to stay in that full health threshold to be able to stay in Gale Wings range, which is of course kind of what this thing wants. It's a very good Pokemon. It has many things that it can do. It's a great pivot, which we do already have quite a few really good pivots, but this thing's just another one of them. Ruse for recovery. It's probably going to be running Flame Body most of the time though, because it's a better ability against a team that may struggle with some faster physical wall breakers. That's kind of what may struggle with a little bit. But overall, I think it's a pretty good Pokemon. It's also my fastest Mon at 126. So that is the team. I think it looks pretty good overall. There's some things I wish I could have fixed about the team, but of course, sometimes it's just not possible when you're trying to fix it in Grace, and just there isn't really much for you there, especially for the fact that we were limited to 5 trades in Grace, meaning that basically we only had 5 moves in Grace. I used 4 of them. I did not use the 5th one yet. I'm probably not gonna use it, but the fact that I'm limited in how I can change my team, and I'm limited in what I still have to change my team, then it kind of becomes a little more difficult. But I think we fixed everything perfectly to make quite a good team. We got good removal, we got good walls, we got good choices, we got good wall breakers, we got amazing nicknames. So overall, I feel like we're going to have a very fun season here. Very excited for the season. Excited to get destroyed because we're probably not doing very well here. And we're going to see how we're going to end up doing here. We'll find out when we go into week 1. Don't know who we're playing yet. We'll find out soon. Bye.